Right, so you've come home after a long day's working and even a longer night's drinking with pals, and the one thing you want to do is get comfy and go to sleep. But what if I told you there was somebody lurking in the safety of your dreams? Someone with good cutlery as a weapon who, if he kills you in your dreams, you die in real life. Freddy Krueger. The original Nightmare on Elm Street film came in 1984, inspired by a story Wes Craven read about a teen who was so terrified to go to sleep for fear of death that he was eventually found dead, surrounded by coffee grounds in a cafetiere in his room, exhausted. The idea of Freddy was created, a town's dark secret now returning to stalk and kill its teenage sons and daughters in the places between reality. Freddy Krueger barely chewing any scenery. He relies more on an almost built up fear of him before you even know him. All backlit shadows and impossible contortions and dreamy lighting catching his horrifically burned body. He's an angry wee imp in the throes of revenge and bloodlust. In the culture handbook, Freddy's a joker. Everybody knows him and he's a right old pain in the arse, but there was a time when Freddy Krueger was terrifying. A genuine, real nightmare used to scare kids into like tidying their rooms or fucking putting away their dishes. So how did we as a society learn to love and idolise a reborn murderer?
His name is Freddy Krueger. He was a child murderer before he died.
Was it demystification through overkill? After the second Nightmare on Elm Street film flopped, Freddy was snorted up into the 80s embrace, mixed with Robert Englund's love of the character, mixed with the heavy metal scene being imported from Britain. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors turned Freddy into, no a terror, but an MTV icon covered in knives, rolling down the halls on spring break.
Say, listen, Doc, I got a new theory about all these suicides, right?
Don't hold back on us, Max. We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, it's fucked up chromosomes, man. Think about it. All their parents dropped acid during the 60s.
Well, beat Sim's theory. She thinks it's nothing but sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Shit, that's what keeps people alive.
Or maybe it was the 80s being sick of stuffy older horror icons. Something to finally take the sheet off the bogeyman that was being craved. I mean, post-Freddy, look at what happened to Jason and Leatherface. They turned almost into their own version of Freddy.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Culturally, Freddy was one of the first to fully disarm us for the fear of horror films. It wasn't pulling the mask off, but it was putting on a bigger, fucking goofier Freddy mask. Sure, he was still scary and killing kids desperate for a lick of sleep, but now he switched the light on. He made us feel good for being scared, and as a reward, became the bad guy you love to love. Freddy was having fun. A dreadful man enjoying the dreadful fruits of his dreadful labour. Transitioning from going for heart-bursting fear into being a creative. The guy's a fucking entrepreneur, he's an artist.
Let's get high.
Freddy was the 80s defined, an almost coke-fueled rampancy to his hedonism, excitable and bouncing around. If you muted him and put on Judas Priest, you'd swear he was fucking dancing to them with a mouthful of Jolly Ranchers. Or I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just put on his approved and released actual album full of original songs and covers sung by Freddy Krueger called Freddy's Greatest Hits. Or you could play the Nightmare on Elm Street NES game. Or you could phone the fucking Freddy hotline number and speak to Freddy.
So dial this number now if you dare. Tell him Freddy sent you.
$2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute. Children, get your parents' permission before you dial.
It was ubiquitous as any pop star and as dangerous as that uncle for your dad's side. It feels like that bit of your childhood bedroom you can put on whenever you want it. The man's an arse, plain and simple. The laddie looks like a fucking walnut. But you can't help but laugh at him. He's the court jester of the horror world. A goofy bit of respite for the sometimes grindingly bleak horror world, and straightforward nihilism of the fucking real world. Did we forgive Freddy along the way? Sure, people are still dying, but why am I not scared? Was Thatcherism and Reaganomics so oppressive then that I'm now rooting for a cartoon horror villain? Where was he when fucking Thatcher was sleeping? Dick. After the joke became a bit tired and youth culture shifted from fun-loving hair metal to grunge, everybody took themselves a bit seriously and grew up. And once again, Freddy found his place and became the anti-villain. It contradicted everything you were conditioned to. It was the devil again in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Breadfolds of meta-humour looped Robert Englund into Freddy's on-screen existence, blurring the line between artist and persona. Freddy was back, no infecting dreams, but infecting films.
But the problem comes when the story dies. And that can happen in a lot of ways. It can get too familiar to people, or somebody waters it down to make it an easier sell, you know? Or maybe it's just so upsetting to society that it's banned outright. However it happens, when the story dies, the evil is set free.
The artifice you took him for granted in was turned upside down and he was back, fucking terrifying again. Your disarmament meant that you were never ever ready for him. He wasn't joking when he said, "I am eternal."